When playing games on console, you might find that certain button presses or joystick movements can be difficult. If this is the case, there can be ways to emulate console controls using voice controls. In this video, we're going to have a look at a script that we have made that will allow you to utilise the functions on the controller using your voice. Most games do require physical access to at least one of the analog sticks, but you can use voice to use most of the other buttons. Voice controls will work best if you have a clear speaking voice and can play games in a room with limited background noise. You will notice that there can be some input delay when using voice controls. Voice controls can work well for single player games, but you may find that some multiplayer games or games that require really fast inputs can be challenging. God of War is a game that you can play with one joystick and a walk forward command. This is because your character closely follows your camera, so you don't need to be able to use both joysticks at the same time. Here we have a look at general character movement and how you can use voice commands for some of the in-game controls. For standard button presses, you just say the command for that button. For example, we'll say R1 to press the button R1. R1, R1, R2. You can also use this script to hold the stick in certain directions. For example, you could say forwards to make the character walk forwards, and then use the right stick to steer the camera, which also changes the direction that the character will move in. If I say stop, then it will let go of the stick and the character will stop moving. Forward, stop, forward. You can also say left, right or backwards to move the character in those directions. Left, stop, right, stop, backward, stop. When you say forward or any other direction, it emulates the joystick being pushed fully in that direction. This will make the character walk or run at their highest speed. If you need to walk a bit slower, you can just say slow forward, and this will only emulate the joystick being partially pushed in that direction. This will create slower character movement. Slow forward, stop, slow left, stop. If you have access to one of the sticks, there might be times in the game or in the menus when you need access to the other stick. So we have added a swap sticks command to allow you to do this. So if you're using the right stick for camera, for example, but you need the left stick to access the menus, you just say swap sticks and it will turn your right stick into the left stick. Options, swap sticks, options, swap sticks, some games require you to repeatedly press a button in quick succession. If this is difficult for you, then one way you can get around this is by using this voice control script. If you say rapid fire and then say the button that you need to be pressed, it will repeatedly press that button until you say let go. Rapid fire, circle, let go. Rapid fire, circle, let go. You could also use rapid fire in other situations such as combat. Rapid fire, R1, let go. Some games require you to hold down a button, and you can also do this with voice commands. So we're going to have a look at Forza Horizon using a hold down command for right trigger, which is accelerate. We'll use a joystick for steering. Hold RT. let go. For braking, we'll have a look at holding down a button for a long period of time using a voice command. Hold RT. Let go. Hold long time LT. Some games require you to use a combination of button presses. For example, in Mario Odyssey, you press left trigger and B together to do a backward somersault. We can do this using the script by saying build combo, then saying the two buttons you need to be able to press, and then say run combo. It will remember the combination that you have built until you next say build combo. So you can keep saying run combo and Mario will keep doing the backward somersault, for example. Build combo, Zulu Lima, Bravo, run combo. Run combo. Run combo. Build combo, Zulu, Lima, Bravo, run combo. Run combo. Sometimes in games you need to be able to press a button and then shortly after press another button. For example, in Mario Odyssey, you can press a button to make Mario jump and then another one to make him throw his cap. So we're going to have a look at how you can build a combo doing this. You have to build the combo, say the first button, say short time, then say the next button, and then say run combo. Build combo, Bravo, short time, young, run combo. Run combo. Build combo, Bravo, short time, young, run combo. Run combo. There might be situations where you want to turn the analog stick into button presses. So for example, in this script, you could say button mode left, and it would make the left analog stick act as the face buttons. So usually the left analog stick will make Mario run around, but if I say button mode left, now if I press up, Mario will throw his cap, and if I press the stick down, he will jump. Button mode left. If accessing the right stick is easier for you, you can say button mode right, and it will do the same thing, turn the right analog stick into button presses. To turn this off, just say button mode right, and now the joystick will go back to being camera movement. There might be situations where you want to turn the voice controls off, for example, just to take a break from gaming, or if someone comes into the room and you need to speak to them. To do this, you just say deactivate, and that will turn the voice controls off. As soon as you want to play again, just say activate, and that will switch the voice controls back on. Young, 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 Bravo, Bravo, young. Thank you for watching this video. If you'd like to talk about voice controls or any other video game access method, then please do get in touch.